I've known my wife literally all my life. We were born in the same hospital, Northside Hospital, 3 days apart. Same neighborhood. I've known her all of my life. I would throw rocks at her window when I was a kid. She would let the dogs chase me and I would run off. But I was persistent and patient. But we've now been married for 20 years. Even though, absolutely, I take that, please. And even though we've been married for 20 years, we don't agree on everything. Imagine that. I'm always wrong. Yes, say yes. Y'all can say yeah. And so I love her, even though we don't agree. Even though we have different sensibilities. Even though we have different likes and dislikes sometimes. I love her because we live in the same house. She is mine and I am hers. That concept is a concept that isn't just for marital bliss. It's not just for home. It is for all of us. It is for all of us. My wife and I recently got a chance to go to South Africa. We went to South Africa for 21 days. We took our son because he loves animals, and we also wanted him to understand South Africa and some of the history of South Africa. So we did a safari, yes, but we also went to go see the home of Nelson Mandela. We stayed in Sanctuary Mandela. Then we went to go see Robben's Island. And we got a chance to see all of that. And I remember all of what I learned. And it was an interesting time because it was the 30th anniversary of the fall of apartheid. Think about that. It's been only 30 years since the fall of apartheid. Only 30 years. And so this was a country, a young country, that still had people who lived through the segregation, the deprivation, the difficulty, the insult of apartheid. And you had a man in Nelson Mandela who spent 27 years in jail and came out in his 70s to become president of the country and did something so remarkable that we don't frankly talk about it enough. He forgave. Amen. He didn't have firing squads. There were, in fact, trials, but as long as you said, yes, I did it, that was enough. He forgave because he understood that they lived in the same house and you couldn't tear this house apart. You couldn't kick one out and leave the other. You had to forgive. You had to work together. You had to live together. There was a quote that said, "Those who can't imagine change reveal the deficits of their imagination, not the difficulty of change." He said, those who can't imagine change reveal the deficits of their imagination, not the difficulty of change. Now think about that in context. This man who spent 27 years in jail never imagined getting out. Surely didn't imagine being president of the country. That change wasn't a change that was easy. That change wasn't a change that he even thought was possible. But he never gave up hope for change. He never gave up hope that there was a brighter day. It's important that we embrace that same concept. Because right now, we have a lot that we think is always going to be that way. Whether it be neighborhoods like Vine City English Avenue or South DeKalb where I grew up. Whether it be the division in our country that we see, the political strife that we see. Whether it be wars and rumors of wars. We think that those things can't change. This notion of the same house is interesting to me because it is an interesting and appropriate allegory for us. I'll leave you with these two thoughts. My mother passed, my father passed about 3 years ago. They left their home to me, the home that I grew up in, the home that I was born into. And this house is so special to me. People would come by and ask me, am I going to sell? And I'll look at them, no. If you ask me again, I'm gonna knock you out. Because this house was there before me. This house predated me. And there were folks who built this house with their sweat, their hands. Folks who I love, folks who I stand on the shoulders of. And now it's my turn to care for this house. I gutted the house. I kept things that they wanted to keep, but I made sure that this house stands well. I didn't do it for me, frankly. And I didn't do it for them, they're gone. I did it for my son and the next generations. And the question for us as we sit here now, questions for you all as you bridge the gap here, is what do you want to leave to the next generation? The difficulty of change should not be beyond our imagination, because we need to experience and understand that we need a change in this house so that we can leave it in better shape than we found it.